The previous module noted that, for 8,000 years of human interchange, what has never changed is the concept of a transactional system of interchange, point-to-point, centralized, and scrupulously recorded by each individual. What has changed is the complexity level for interchanges, and this is the topic of this module. Most interchange of value is simple and straightforward. You have something I need, I have the trusted carrier of value that you want, we make the exchange, scribble in our own books, and move along, just like it's been done pretty much forever. The process started to complicate some when we began substituting credit for currency. Now a centralized third party has to get involved to validate that I'm creditworthy and you will be paid. Still, a very common exchange that has been streamlined over the years to make it as frictionless as possible. But many interchanges of value that occur every day have become very complicated. For instance, in the United States, it still takes 3 days to settle a stock trade, even though the markets have dematerialized. Now, in addition to the buyer and seller, there are several banks and brokerage houses, none of which trust each other, and therefore all parties perform their own validations and reconcile their own books. In most geographies, central parties have emerged to choreograph the process. There are examples of complex transactions in every industry that are still bound by processes that predate the digital age, and in many cases quite literally first became codified in the Iron Age. The complexity of many interchanges is driven precisely by the need to maintain trust in the system. When it can't be managed directly between the principals, third parties and centralized systems step in to manage trust. It is precisely this millennia-old form of interchange and the digital systems that support it that is keeping you from realizing your dreams. Interchange remains a linear, centralized, transactional process where each party is responsible for managing trust and maintaining records. This has been sufficient for thousands of years, and over the past 50 or so, computing systems have done a great job in supporting these centralized transactional systems for managing records. But in many ways, technology has now become the master of the process and forces limitations on how value can be interchanged. How would your world change if you had at your disposal a digital solution that guaranteed trust among all parties without the limitations of today's transactional systems? A mechanism by which all parties can nearly immediately agree on the scope of an interchange, ensures transparency in how that interchange was started and agreed to, and is carried out without chance of being overturned by some nefarious action. You are not the only one with deep dreams. Organizations of all stripes want to do something more meaningful than just simple transactional workloads. They want to really transform the way they do business, and are starting to express this in the form of a new category of applications called multiparty, a category that is not limited to individual platform options, eliminates any sort of hard dependencies, and is open to cloud deployments so that they have freedom of choice. They are fed up with modeling their business processes around a technical implementation that may or may not meet their actual needs. They want a mechanism that will improve interworking amongst disparate business infrastructures to speed up transactions, improve efficiency, protect transactional data, reduce large-scale hacking of accounts, build trust by regulators, lower auditing costs, and much more. The approach that can best address these challenges is based upon representing assets of value as digital tokens. The good news is that, even if you don't know it, you already use tokens. In fact, the notion that we have already introduced currency as a bearer instrument representing value located somewhere else makes currency a token of that value. In the next series of modules, we will more fully define tokens, how they work, and how they can be used to represent virtually any sort of value.